Morning and welcome to Morning Maths, day 21. I hope you've got your pencil and paper ready and let's get going. So, year 3 level, use 2, 0 and 8 to make the biggest number you can. 2, 0, 8. 2, 0, 8. That's not the biggest number I could make from those digits. If I put my hats on. Because to make the biggest number, I'm going to want the biggest digit, 8, at the front. 8, that's the biggest, then 2, then 0. 820 is our answer. 820, the biggest number we can make. And on to question 2. Pause if you need time to copy. Question 2, 486 plus 386. 486 plus 386. Lines up nicely, doesn't it? So 6 plus 6 is 12. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 872. Plus makes things bigger, that's why the answer was bigger than the 486 we started with. Let's go on to question 3. Question 3. 311 take away 59. 311 take away 59. By the way, don't do this. Don't do this. That's lining up wrong, isn't it? Always keep an eye on your lining up. You need to line it up like this. That's correct. So you can do that. Lines up down the right, which is down that side. So it's a minus. Let's make sure I do a minus. Sometimes I do the wrong sign if I'm not careful. 1 take away 9, you can't do. 1 is too small. If you have 1 sweet, you can't give away 9. So 1 needs to get some help from next door, which goes down to a 0, lends 1. 11 take away 9 is 2. 0 take away 5, we can't do that either. 0 needs some help. 3 in the hundreds column goes down from 300 to 200, lends 1 over here. So it actually becomes 10 in the tens column. 10 tens is 100, that's what we just borrowed. So 10 take away 5 is 5. And 2 take away nothing is 2. 252. That's because minus makes things smaller. So 311 got smaller. Now it's 252. Number 4 is 4 times 5. Number 4 is 4 times 5. Lots of ways you can do this. We could just sing our 4s up to 5. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and it would be 20. Sing our 4s up to 5 fingers, and what we're saying is 20. Or you can get 4. I'll just quickly get 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And instead of having it one time, like it is there, instead of having it one time, I'm going to copy it. So I've got it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. It's a quick way of copying on this program. I've got 4 now, 5 times, and if I count all those dots, it will be 20. Because that's what 4 times 5 is when you've got 4 and you've got it 5 times. Let's move on to question 5. Question 5 is divide, or a purple pen. 10 divided by 2. It's sharing, isn't it, divide? 10 shared between 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to share them into 2 groups. So 1 for this group, 1 for this group. Another one up here, another one up here, another one up here, another one up here. 1 for you. See, it's all fair. 1 for you. They've both got 4. 1 for you and 1 for you will mean, I didn't grab it, did I? Will mean they've both got 5. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. We can put it underneath, equals 5. 10 shared between 2 is 5. And we're up to question 6. Let's move this down for the fast people. So question 6 is year 4 level place value. 7413 to make the smallest number you can. Make sure you read the question carefully because this time it's the smallest number you can. So a 7, a 4, a 1 and a 3. These are the hats, units or ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. If you want to make the smallest number you can, let's get this pen just a little bit smaller here. If you want the smallest number you can, you want to put small things at the front like 1. Got you. 3, got you. 4, got you. and the biggest number at the end. That's what you do if you want to make things small. Start with the small digits. So the thousands will now be small. It's only 1,000 instead of 7,000, much smaller. Because this column, the thousands, is the most significant column in this number because it's worth the most, isn't it? Even though it's only the digit 1, when it's in the thousands column, it's worth the most. So you want that column to be small. 1,347. And we're up to question 7. Column addition. Practice, practice, practice at this. It doesn't matter what number you put on the top in column addition. It matters that you line it up correctly though. So your 876 has to go like this. So I like putting the biggest number at the top, but you don't have to. You could put 876 at the top. You might even want to do that just to see that it works the other way around. Make sure you copy the question carefully. 7 plus 6 is 13. 8 plus 7, 15, plus 1, 16. 5 plus 8, 13, plus 1, 14. 1 plus 1 is 2. Did it get bigger? Yes, 1,587 got bigger because plus usually makes things bigger. 2,463. Sometimes I check the last column. 7 plus 6 is 13, so it should end in a 3, and it does. Makes me happy that it's right. Let's go on to question 8. What does decreased mean? Well, you can probably guess because question 8 is always take away. But hopefully you'll start to learn these words that decreased means take away. 4,324 take away 999. Let's have a look at this one. Lots of borrowing because there's 9s on the bottom. So that means lots of borrowing. 4 take away 9 you can't do. Borrow from the 2 goes down to a 1. Take this 1. If I go too fast, just pause and catch up. 14 take away 9, we can do that now. That is 5. 1 take away 9, can't do that. More borrowing. 3 goes down to a 2. We can borrow the 1. 11 take away 9 is 2. 2 take away 9. Again, we can't do that. Borrow from the 4, goes down to a 3. 1 goes over here. 12 take away 9, we can do that, 3. And at the front, we just have 3. 3,325. Minus made things smaller. The top number got smaller when we got down to the answer. Top number got smaller because minus makes things smaller. 3,325 looks correct to me. Let's move on to number 9. 321 times 5. 321 times 5. Okay, grid method. 321 becomes 321 like that. And it's smashed up. Partitioned. What do we multiply by? 5. 321 times 5. Okay. In this first box, this will be the biggest part of the answer. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 zeros to place. 1,500 that's going to be. The next part is 5 times 2 with a 0. 5 times 2 is 10. And then place another 0, 100. And finally 5 times 1, that's 5. So we've got to add up our 3 answers. 1,500, 105. Column method, if you want to add those up, I think it's going to be 1,605. That's what my head thinks, and I'm going to double check with the column. 1,605. Now I'm going to triple check with the standard method. 321 times 5. 1 times 5, or 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1, 16. Yep. Do it with 2 methods. Doesn't take long, does it really? Once you get practiced at things, your speed will increase. Hopefully you can keep your accuracy as your speed increases. This is what practice does for you. Makes you more accurate and faster. And in the end, you might become so fast, you can do 2 methods. And then you've got to double check. And then it makes your accuracy even better. Question 10. Bus stop for 423 divided by 3. So division is sharing, isn't it? But it would take a long time to share out 423 little counters or little circles. So instead we use the bus stop method, which is like a shortcut to doing all that. We're still asking ourselves, how many 3s can I get from 423? We're still doing that. So how many 3s fit into 400? Or how many 3s fit into 4? 1. Carried a 1. How many 3s fit into 12? 3, 6, 9, 12. I counted on my fingers, and my fingers said 4. How many 3s fit into 3? Well, 3 is 3, so once. 141. 141. 141. Let's uncover the year 6 level work for anyone who's that fast, and I'm on question 11. What's question 11? Place value, a different kind of question to year 4. Something, a mystery, could be a question mark. In this case, it's an empty missing box. Something equals 5,000 plus 30 plus 6. 5,000 plus 30 plus 6. I'm going to use my hats to build this up. So we're adding these numbers, but you can put anyone on first. Let's go for the 5,000, okay? 5 in the thousands column. Let's go for the 30. That's the tens, isn't it? 3 tens, 3 tens. And 6 goes in the units. 5,000, 30 and 6 all taken care of. There's nothing here, but it's a very important 0 that we're going to place. And it's 5,036. 5,030 and 6, unsurprisingly, is 5,036. So in the box we'd go 5,036. Question 12. Big addition. Year 5 level addition. Big numbers. They've both got 5 digits though. One of the most common mistakes with big numbers like this is copying the question down wrong. You're going to do quite a lot of work for this question. So make sure you're doing the right thing. Make sure you actually copied the question down right and you're doing the right question. So I normally write it out and then read the numbers again. 58684, 61689. Make sure I've copied them right. Because I know what I'm like. I know I've done it wrong so many times in the past, I need to check. And you'll be the same. 4 plus 9 is 13. Don't make the mistake of thinking you're too good at maths. You're too good, you don't have to check. I've never met anyone like that who's so good they don't have to check. 4 plus 9 is 13. 8 plus 8 is 1. That's 17. I've met many people who think they don't have to check, but then they don't seem to get 100% in the tests. So I would advise that, like me or Mr. Groom or Mrs. Laraway, you always check what you're doing. Or Mr. Blom or Miss Butler or anyone else you see on these videos, you'll see them checking. 4 plus 9 is 13. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. And 5 plus 6 is 11, plus 1 is 12. That's a big answer, 120,373. If you put commas in, they go 3 from the end. 120,323. The comma is the word thousand, really. Looks right to me. Just checking over that. Pause if you need to copy that big question down, and I'm on to number 13. Now, with takeaways, you have to be careful to put the biggest number at the front. But in the question, the biggest number is not at the front. 4.9 less than 28.54. That means you start with 28.54 and you want to know what 4.9 less than that is. So you're taking away 4.9, which you can see is actually smaller, isn't it, when you line it up properly. So what I should say really is biggest number at the top in a column subtraction. The biggest number might not be at the start of a word problem. It's at the end of that word problem, isn't it? So biggest number at the top, we should be okay. Some people like to place zeros here or even here. You don't have to. You do have to have the top line having all the digits on it though, like it has. So 4 take away 0, 4. 5 take away 9, can't do. Borrow from the 8, goes to a 7. 15 take away 9, that's 6. If I go too fast, just pause and catch up. 7 take away 4 is 3. 2 take away 0 is 2. I'm getting slightly faster as the weeks go on with morning maths, as you can probably tell. But you can always pause there if you need to. 23.64 minus makes things smaller. So 28 and a bit, take away 4 and a bit is 23 and a bit. Because remember, after decimal point, it's just bits. 23 whole ones and some bits. 6/10 and 4/100. Let's move on to the next question, which is question 14. In year 5, I normally do standard method. No problem at all if you want to do grid method. As long as it's working, do what's best for you. This is long method, long multiplication I would say, 862 times 31. But I like it when there's a 1 on the second line because it's easy to multiply things by 1. In fact, first of all, we're going to do 1 times 862. Well, that's very easy. It's 862. So the first line is just 862. I did 1 times 862 and wrote it there. The next line is 30 times 862. I'm going to place a 0 though, so I can pretend it's 3 times 862. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Be careful with your times tables. There's so many times tables in long multiplication. One little mistake and the whole thing goes wrong. In the SATs, of course, you can make one little mistake because these are 2-mark questions. You would still at least get 1 mark if you only made one little mistake. But much better to be accurate and get both marks. So I've done this as well. We just need to add up our 2 answers, but we won't add up this little one, so I'll cross it out. Looks a bit weird, but at least it's gone. So 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 6 is 12. 8 plus 8, 16, plus 1, 17. 5 plus 1, 6, and 2. 26,722. With long multiplication, I always go over my answer, go over my multiplications, which is what I'm doing now, because I know how easy it is to make a mistake on this. 26,722. If you have a comma, it goes 3 from the end. 26,722. And we're on question 15. Decimal division on the bus stop. I think I might be able to estimate this one in my head. I think it's going to be 4.09, I think. Let's see what the bus stop says. 5 into 2 is 0, carried a 2. 5 into 20, 5, 10, 15, 20 is 4. 5 into 4 doesn't fit. 5's too big to fit into 4, so carried a 4 that we didn't use. How many 5s in 45? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. My fingers say 9. 4.09. That's what I thought it would be, so I'm quite happy with that answer. 20 divided by 5 would be 4. 45 divided by 5 would be 9. But in this case, because it's decimals, it's not really 45. It's 0.45, so it's 0.09. So we get 4.09. That was, sorry for not putting the question on, but that was question 15. I know some people have said they like the question numbers being on. Let's move on to question 16, year 6 level if you're still going. Year 4s and 5s if you're still going. Probably not year 3s. Probably not, and they might be. So a mystery is 5 plus 0.8 plus 0.09. Right, let's put some hats on around the decimal point. Units comes before. Then we have tenths, 1/10, 1, and 1/100th. Put the point here, and what have we got? Here we have 5, just 5, so that's 5 units. Here we have, that's the tenths column there, 0.8, so 8 in the tenths column. And here we have a 9 in the hundredths column, 5.89. Do these carefully so you don't make mistakes. 5.89. Number 17, if you like 9s, we're adding a lot of 9s. There's going to be a lot of carrying when we add a lot of 9s. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, and 9. Well, I definitely copied the digits right because they're all 9s. 4 digits, 3 digits, 2 digits, and 1 digit, all added together. 9 plus 9 is 18, isn't it? Well, we're adding 4 9s here. I'm actually going to sing my 9s because it's 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 is the same as 9 times 4. 9, 18, 27, 36. So that's 36. Next one, 9, 18, 27 plus 3 is 30. 9 and 9 is 18, plus 3 is 21. 9 plus 2 is 11. The addition wasn't actually that hard in the end. 11106. So all those 9s ended up making 3 1s. Cross out those little carried 1s. They're not 1s, but the little carried ones. Little carried 2s and 3s. So 11,106. If you place the comma, it goes 3 from the end. I mean 3 digits from the end. 3 from the end. 11,106 is our answer. And we're on question 18. Question 18. 50,000. Straight away you're probably thinking, lots of borrowing here. When the zero's on the top, lots of borrowing. Line it up carefully. The second number's only got 4 digits, hasn't it? The top number's got 5 digits. Right, let's get going with all the borrowing. Pause if you need time to copy that. 0 take away 6. 0 needs some help. You have to go all the way to the end. I know year 6s are good at this borrowing. So I'll just go quickly. 10 take away 6 is 4. 9 take away 8, 9 take away 4, 9 take away 2, and a 4. That 1 looks a bit funny. Let's make sure it looks like a 1. Don't want to be mistaken for anything else. 47,514. Minus made things smaller. 50,000 got smaller. It went down to 47,514. Bit of checking with number bonds. And I'm happy with that. 47,514. Let's get on to question 19. Pause if you need time to copy. 19 is a long multiplication. This is not too difficult for a long multiplication, I think, because the numbers are all easy times tables. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are the digits, and they're easy times tables. It's a much different question if it's 9s, 8s, 7s, 6s. So, first of all, we're going to need 2 lines, aren't we? Let's place that 0 now so we don't forget it. The top line is going to be 4 times 231. 4 times 1. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 goes in like that. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So 4 times 231 was 924. That makes sense? The next line, we've done the 4, is 5 times 231. It's really 50 times 231, but we've placed a 0, so we can pretend it's 5. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. We have 2 answers to add up. Let's not accidentally add those. See how as I'm talking, I'm always looking for my mistakes. You can tell that in the way I speak, can't you? All the time. I know which mistakes I might make. I'm always looking for them, making sure I don't accidentally add on little ones and things like that. 12,474. I'll have a quick check over everything, or a slow check over everything if it needs to be. Sometimes I get the feeling these are wrong. Sometimes I can't tell why. But I think I'm happy with 12,474. Let's move on to number 20. Number 20, shared means divide, of course. 64.53. We'll be using our friend the bus stop to do that. The bus stop, to be honest, is my favourite one out of all of plus, minus, times, divide. Because you can get so fast at it and it can do so many great little things in maths. It's very helpful. How many 3's in 6? 3, 6 is 2. How many 3's in 4? 3 is just 1, carried a 1. How many 3's in 15? 3, 6, 9, 12 and 15. 8 is 5. And how many 3's in 3? 1. 21.51. 64 and a bit. When you shared it between 3, it was 21 and a bit. Okay. I think that makes sense. And you can do it again really fast to check without really looking at my top one. That was definitely 2, that's 1, carried a 1, that is 5, it's got to be 21.51, 21.51, otherwise known as 21 and a bit. So thanks for listening today. Oh, let's not forget the answers. Sometimes we forget those, don't we? Well, there's the answers. Let's have a check over those. Pause if you need more time looking at those, if you did all the work yourself and you're checking against these answers. If you're doing that, then I've got to be honest, you should be aiming for 100% every day. If you're doing the work on your own without me or the other teachers who do this, then 100% is the aim. If you're able to do it on your own, you've got to try and get that accuracy. So check carefully. Hopefully you got that accuracy today. So thank you everyone. I'll see you next time.